This video is going to look at sales and inventory that's available under the banner Weekly Reports. So by selecting Sales and Inventory, it's going to take you to your default sales and inventory report that's available for your portfolio. Now within ezfocus, you always have the ability to change your parameters according to the drop-down options that you see. So for sales and inventory reporting, you'll notice that you can change the actual way that you see your sales being reported, and you can compare various time periods. So right now we have some default views already selected. So wherever you see a checkbox, that's what you have available for your column selection. So in this case, we're reviewing our current period per week. We're looking at our inventory levels, as well as distribution. Now, depending on the region that you have access to and the data that's available, you also have the ability to look at your order information as well as any promotional information. So by placing a check mark on the columns that you want to see, what you can do is then refresh your options, and the grid will now be updated with the additional columns that we have here. So you'll notice within ezfocus, there are instances where you have a letter I inside a red circle, and by clicking on it, that will give you access to more information related to that column header or to the product or wherever you see that little icon showing. So in this case, if we wanted to be able to see what our promotional codes mean, then we can simply scroll through and identify what our current promotional information is. So for example, when we scroll through and see that we have a promo code here, if we're not familiar with the promo codes, then we would just click on the icon to get the code for what we're seeing on the report. So our current reporting available to us will show our weekly sales, and it will also show our inventory for the individual warehouses. We also have retail distribution available to us where we have retail inventory levels. So we can see here current distribution as well as identify distribution gaps. So this will tell us how many retail locations are currently not carrying our product, and that will open up for us opportunities of where we have potential to increase our distribution. So in this case, we also selected our order history as well as our promotions, so we see those column headers here. Now across on the top, you'll notice that in addition to our column selections, we can make a change in how we want to see our measurement. If we want to change the way we have our sort order of the data below, we can make our selection change here. And you also have the ability to go back and look at previous periods of sales reporting. Now you'll notice that our inventory reporting will also be as of a current date. So that's kind of important to keep in mind, that inventory is as of a snapshot in time, whereas our sales information can be changed historically. Now if we have information for multiple channels, then we would see that we can make that change here. We can also look at various product types. We can look at the status of various product types as well. And then within our portfolio, if we wanted to make this report brand or supplier specific, we can make that change here as well. Now, also available to us, we have the ability to include last year's sales as a separate line item, and we can also look at our order details when we have order information available. So if we wanted to look at last year's sales, simply place a check mark, and you can see once you refresh the report that you now have additional line items that will show you your last year's sales. So then you can remove the line item if you no longer want to see that information in the grid. So you'll notice that we have at our disposal, again, various buttons as we navigate through this report. We can refresh our options. We can save the report to a favorite. We can export the report to Excel, export to PDF. We can remove filters, and we can set the preferences. So in this case, we know that we added our orders information as well as our promotional information. So if I want to now have this as my standard view whenever I go into sales and inventory reporting, I would simply click on my preferences, and you'll notice the green ribbon at the bottom of the screen confirming that your preferences have been saved. So every time I access this report, I no longer have to make those manual changes of selecting a new checkbox to bring in that column information. If you want to go back and remove your standard views, you would simply go back, make changes, and then reset your preferences again.